Crossfire Hurricane was that was a federal investigation that started with Hillary Clinton with her illegal home server, unsecured, as the Secretary of State. Not only did it have our nation's most classified secrets, it also had evidence of the Clinton Foundation's illegal pay-for-play foreign bribery schemes, where the Clinton Foundation was taking tens of billions of dollars from foreign governments, foreign entities, and maybe, just maybe, there was quid pro quo corruption when she was the Secretary of State. She was doing favors in return for these donations. She got caught with her illegal home server. She took hammers to the devices, she bleach bit it, she destroyed the evidence, obstruction of justice, right? Here's the problem. That server was almost certainly hacked by our adversaries, including Russia. And what they were worried about with the Clinton campaign, with the Obama White House, with Joe Biden, was that this server would get leaked before the 2016 election by the Russians. And so what did they do? They made up the Steele dossier at Perkins Coie, a national law firm. They used that Steele dossier, just made up corrupt evidence. They gave it to the intel agencies, the Justice Department. They used that to get illegal spy warrants from the FISA courts on President Trump, on his campaign. They continued to spy on him as the president of the United States. They hobbled his presidency. And they did this Crossfire Hurricane for the purpose of this. If this evidence came out before the 2016 election, Hillary Clinton can say you can't trust it. This is a campaign dirty trick by the Trump campaign colluding with the Russians. And you say, oh, Mike, that sounds crazy. How can you be such a conspiracy theorist? Well, they did the same thing in 2020 with Hunter Biden's laptop of the Biden family corruption. You had the CIA working with 51 former intel officials to say it had all the hallmarks of a Russian disinformation campaign. They got the New York Post canceled from the internet. They got it deplatformed. America's continuous oldest newspaper got canceled from social media. The link got taken off the internet, and they did the same thing in 2020. Remember, Trump declassified Crossfire Hurricane. It took 4 years. It was the day before he left office. Rick Grenell finally got the job done after the FBI and the intel agencies, Justice Department fought him tooth and nail. They declassified Crossfire Hurricane the day before Trump left office. The FBI, the intel officials ran to White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and said, you cannot publicly release this. It has sources and methods. You're going to violate the Privacy Act. This is a crime. So Mark Meadows, the day they left office, January 20th, 2021, sent a memo saying, okay, do your Privacy Act review and publicly release these documents. Well, guess what? They didn't do the Privacy Act review. They didn't publicly release these records. Instead, they did the Mar-a-Lago raid to go get back these Crossfire Hurricane records. And that led to Jack Smith's indictment with Judge Cannon. He didn't like the judge that he drew, so he brought another unprecedented indictment in D.C. against Trump. Unprecedented for the Justice Department to bring two separate indictments against the same defendant at the same time in two different venues. That's what Jack Smith did. They had these other Democrat prosecutors working with the Biden White House, like Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, billing his time to collude with the Biden White House, 16 hours, $250 an hour for two meetings. Before they brought their indictment in Georgia, you had Matthew Colangelo deploy from the Biden-Harris Justice Department, the number 3 office, to Alvin Bragg's office, this Soros-funded DA, to bring the first indictment ever. They brought 4 indictments. This is clearly coordinated in collusion with the Biden White House. It's clear. Biden waived Trump's claim of executive privilege through his deputy White House counsel, Jonathan Sue, that led to Jack Smith's 2 indictments. Nathan Wade billing his time, Matthew Colangelo going from the Biden DOJ. Biden's hands are on all 4 of these indictments. There has to be a criminal probe of this, and it comes back to Crossfire Hurricane. Obama, Biden, Hillary, Comey, Jay Bratt, who's working for Jack Smith right now. All of these are deep state bad actors who were involved with Crossfire. Andrew Weissman, who are involved with Crossfire Hurricane, the biggest scandal in American history, and its cover-up. They spied on a presidential candidate. They spied on the president of the United States. They lied to the FISA court. This is the most explosive story in American history. It's going to come out when President Trump's back in office. That's why they tried to bankrupt him. That's why they tried to throw him in prison for life with 4 bogus indictments. That's why they tried to take him off the ballot unconstitutionally. That's why they tried to underfund his Secret Service protection and almost took off his head.